Welcome to BearAcade product training. We're glad to have you. We're going to provide information on Barricade. We're going to show you the Barricade way of building containments. And then finally we're going to look at the benefits for building your containments the Barricade way. The Barricade way has actually been tested in the real world to make sure that it works and works properly and saves you time and money. We're going to show you lots of things like how to use the floor applicator, how to use the wall applicator, and how to do critical barriers as well as build containments. Let's get started, but let's first look at how to do critical barriers the Barricade way. Criticals can be anything that opens into your containment, like a door or a vent. You see how he puts the roll of Barricade at the bottom of the door and pulls up, and then puts pressure on the outside of the frame to make sure that it is adhered properly. And then he pulls the roll out from away from the bottom of the door. Pulls the roll there. Pretty easy, don't you think? Then he gets his knife and cuts. It's really nice not to have to use duct tape, spray glue, and poly. You don't have the mess, and you don't have the mess when you clean up as well. Notice how fast he did that. He did that door in about 30 seconds. Now that's real speed. Here he does the window. Again, he puts the roll at the bottom of the window next to the door, pulls it up above the door, and then puts pressure around the frame of the window to make sure that it's adhered properly. And then he rolls it out from the bottom, gets his knife, and cuts. That's simple, folks. It doesn't get any easier than that. Now let's talk about criticals. Typically it takes 10 to 15 minutes to critical a door with duct tape, spray glue, and poly. Now that can get pretty expensive when you have a lot of doors. Like this door, for instance. Typically it's $15 to $21 in labor and materials to critical just the door. But with Barricade it's quite a bit less. With Barricade to critical a door, because you don't have duct tape and you don't have spray glue, it costs less than $7 in labor and materials, because you can do that door in about 30 seconds. Prep time is where everybody wastes time. But with Barricade, you can customize the roll with your criticals so you can save time and money. You can critical things like doors, vents, openings, fireboxes, light fixtures, window frames, you name it. You can customize the size of the roll for whatever type of critical you have. Prep faster using Barricade. Just like this instance here, right around that little box. I love that. One piece, puts pressure all around it. He doesn't have duct tape, he doesn't have spray glue, and he does that in about 10 seconds. That's fast. And here you can see he's got a very small roll just for small criticals. Then he cuts it with a knife, no duct tape, no spray glue. That's fast. You can customize the roll to do critical, vents, doors, you name it. You can use Barricade to prep faster and save money. Now, let's see how easy it is to build a containment using Barricade. I think you'll see that with the floor applicator, you can apply Barricade as fast as you can walk. Here he pulls the poly from the roll, rolls it over the tension bar there, sticky side out. Then he puts it down just so you make sure he gets some pressure on that bar, and then look at that. He is off and running, just like he's mowing the yard. Doesn't get any faster than that. No one can apply poly to the floor as fast as that. And the same goes for the walls. You can use our wall applicator and apply Barricade as fast as you can walk. There's a good picture of our wall applicator there. Here he just pulls the roll around the black roller there. Now he's going to attach it up there at the corner. Just tuck it in a little bit to stick it to the corner so he can get it started. He's going to slide it over to the wall. They're going to raise it up, in this case, 2 feet. Now you don't have to raise it up 2 feet. You can leave it on the ground and go straight from the ground all the way up, especially if you're doing something like splash guards. But in this case, they raise it up 2 feet. Then he makes sure that he has it adhered to the corner, and then look at this. He is off to the races as fast as he can walk. It doesn't get any easier than that. Now there is a gentleman going behind him with a squeegee. The squeegee is pretty important. You can use a squeegee or a push broom, but you need to be able to put pressure on the product. Remember, it's a pressure-sensitive product. And then it's also nice to have that squeegee so you can stick it in the corner to apply pressure to that corner so the guy with the applicator can just keep going and never stop. That makes it pretty easy to do. Now the wall applicator will telescope from the ground all the way up to 10 feet. Now let's watch and see how easy it is to apply Barricade as fast as you can walk. I love this. He raises it up, undoes the tension, raises it up all the way to the ceiling. Isn't that nice? Then he's going to take the Barricade. After he tightens up his roller there, he's going to take the Barricade and he's going to stick it to the corner just to make sure that he's got some pressure there applied to the corner. He'll take his squeegee and run it up the side there just to make sure that it's attached to the corner. That's pretty simple, don't you think? And then he's off. That's pretty easy. Now one of the best things about Barricade is you don't have a lot of waste. Notice here he's only got about 1 inch to 2 inches of overlap. That's one of the best things about Barricade is you don't have a lot of waste like you do when you normally use poly and spray glue and duct tape. He's using most of the product on the walls. Isn't that nice? That's pretty simple. Anybody could do that. So how fast can you build a containment using Barricade and utilizing the applicators? I guess the better question is, how do we estimate a job or bid a job with Barricade? That's a question I get all the time. How fast can we go? Well, typically, the old-fashioned way allows you to go about 200 feet an hour for criticals and about 375 feet an hour for walls and floors per man. But with Barricade, you can go up to 10 times that speed on walls and floors. Now, that makes it easy now for the contractor to bid his job. Now that he knows how fast he can go, now he can bid his job. So what about cleanup? That's a question that I get. I get questions like, how do you take down Barricade? Will Barricade come off of itself? Will it leave a residue behind? These are pretty good questions to ask. I think you can see here it's easy to clean because it sticks tight to the floor. You can vac it. You can't do that with normal poly because it billows. And it comes off of itself. You can see that it comes off one layer at a time. He's not pulling off the bottom layer, and that's important to contractors who build containments. It's also really nice to not take down criticals as you pull it down. You can see there he's taken down the bottom layer, but the criticals remain up. Now that's important to contractors who do abatement. Because Barricade is tight to the surface, it's easy to vacuum. And when you take it down at a 45-degree angle, you don't take down the criticals, and you can take it down a layer at a time without pulling off the bottom layer. Sometimes you may have a little bit of mess like this, but it's not like normal duct tape, spray glue, and poly. Now let's identify some of the gaps that contractors have. Productivity, labor costs, and safety. Those are the gaps that contractors care about. Now let's look at productivity. How does Barricade fill the gap for productivity? Barricade fills the gap by reducing the need for ladders. Ladders waste time and money. And because you can build your containment up to 10 times as fast with the applicator, that's more productive. And because you don't have near the need for spray glue and duct tape, and you have more than 3 inches of tape holding up your containment, that's a benefit to the contractor. Barricade fills the gap also by having fewer containment failures because you have more than 3 inches of tape holding up your containment. And it speeds cleanup, and you don't have guys working on their hands and knees all day long. Not having to do this makes you more productive. Now the customers want to know how fast they can get back to work and how much will they have to clean up when the abatement phase is over. But with Barricade, they get back to their building as quick as possible. And the building is returned to service soon, and it's clean. That's the Barricade way. Build a smarter containment using Barricade. But make sure that the logo is the Barricade logo. Don't let anyone else sell you anything different. For more information, go to Americover.com. We really appreciate your time and attention. Thanks, and have a great day.